service, plus over 50% savings on custom designs. Buy direct, the Jewelry Exchange Bethesda.
Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, a bombshell new allegation against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. A woman comes forward accusing him of sexual misconduct in college. He calls it a smear, plain and simple, as Kavanaugh's other accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, agrees to testify. Now the nominee and the White House respond to the new allegations, and Ronan Farrow, who broke this latest story, joins us live.
Fires and floods. The race to contain this fast-moving blaze tearing through Southern California right now, while out east, the effects of Florence wreak havoc on South Carolina. Thousands of people told to leave their homes as floodwaters move in.
The actor accusing Me Too activist Asia Argento of sexually assaulting him when he was 17 years old, now speaking out on camera for the first time.
The school bus driver caught on camera letting kids as young as 11 take the wheel.
I'll let you know.
Now the driver's facing charges. Parents are outraged this morning.
And Tiger Woods comes roaring back. The golfing great winning his first tournament in more than 5 years. Battling back from major injuries, thousands of fans and his girlfriend right by his side. What he's saying about his incredible comeback.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
And good morning, America. My question for all of you, was your weekend as good as Tiger's?
Probably not. It was such an incredible moment. Look at that. All those fans following Tiger to the final hole, and he said it was so special. I love this because his young kids finally got to see what their dad can do on a golf course. People were saying this is Tiger from the early 2000s.
He toughed it out.
They are certainly still celebrating this morning, but we do want to begin, of course, with that Supreme Court bombshell, a new accuser coming forward in the New Yorker magazine levying new sexual misconduct allegations against nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
She says Kavanaugh exposed himself to her during their freshman year at Yale. Kavanaugh adamantly denies the charge. The White House is backing him up. Ronan Farrow, who helped break the story with the New Yorker, will join us live in a moment. But first, our senior national correspondent Terry Moran is at the Supreme Court with the latest. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. The Brett Kavanaugh nomination is on the precipice right now. The polls were showing only lukewarm support for Kavanaugh to begin with, and now this latest allegation is a real crisis. He, of course, as you say, denies all these charges, all these stories, and he says he is determined to come before the public and clear his name. But politics is a cruel business, and Senate Republicans, one eye on the midterm elections, are scrambling to deal with this latest bombshell. Overnight, Judge Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination dealt another blow. A second woman, Deborah Ramirez, Kavanaugh's classmate at Yale, accusing the embattled judge of sexual misconduct. The New Yorker reporting she remembers Kavanaugh had exposed himself at a drunken dormitory party. Ramirez admits there are some gaps in her memory due to the fact she'd been drinking, but the New Yorker spoke with other classmates who remember hearing about the event and what they say was Kavanaugh's role in it, and from some who dispute Ramirez's account. Kavanaugh denies it, saying, quote, "This alleged event from 35 years ago did not happen. The people who knew me then know this did not happen and have said so. This is a smear, plain and simple." In light of the new claims, ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Dianne Feinstein, is calling for an immediate postponement of any further proceedings related to the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh. And that could include Thursday's anticipated testimony from Kavanaugh accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. Feinstein is also asking that this new allegation be referred to the FBI for investigation, and that committee chairman Chuck Grassley join Democrats' request for an FBI investigation into Blasey Ford's claims as well. Blasey Ford says she was assaulted in high school in 1982. Kavanaugh categorically denies it. Blasey Ford first alerted Feinstein about the incident in late July, and Grassley made that letter public overnight. In it, Blasey Ford writes, "Kavanaugh was on top of me. Kavanaugh tried to disrobe me. With Kavanaugh's hand over my mouth, I feared he may inadvertently kill me." Blasey Ford agreed to testify despite the fact that she didn't get all of what she asked for in lengthy negotiations. She had insisted that Kavanaugh testify first, she second.
She'll be treated fairly, but we're not going to turn the hearing over to her lawyers, and we'll see.
Blasey Ford also requested the committee call other witnesses, including the polygraph examiner who conducted her lie detector test, and Mark Judge, who Blasey Ford claims was present during the alleged attack.
I think the Republicans have shown their uneasiness with their own defense by refusing to allow Mark Judge to testify.
Well, now it's hard to say whether that hearing, tentatively scheduled for Thursday, will even go forward. The Senate Republicans have said that the Judiciary Committee will conduct some kind of investigation into this latest allegation and to any others that may emerge.
Yeah, can they do it in a couple of days? Okay, Terry, thanks very much. Ronan Farrow, who wrote the New Yorker story along with Jane Mayer, joins us now. Ronan, thanks for joining us this morning. I want to start out by putting Brett Kavanaugh's denial back up on the screen right now. The alleged event from 35 years ago did not happen. The people who knew me then said that this did not happen and have said so. This is a smear, plain and simple. That denial is blunt. It is unequivocal. Your response?
And obviously we include that in the New Yorker piece and gave him a very full and fair window for comment, and we include rebuttals and pushback at every point. Those rebuttals are significant. The White House has a huge megaphone on this. There is a coalition of former Yale students working with Brett Kavanaugh's office. A number of them who signed on to a statement in this article pushing back against Ms. Ramirez's claim are individuals she alleged to be participants in this attack on her, which Brett Kavanaugh's office seemed surprised by. And we then redacted the names of those individuals at their request because they were alleged to be involved. The point I want to make here is this. It is not accurate to say that those who knew him at the time dispute this. We talked to a roommate from the time that was living with him when this alleged incident took place, who said he was indeed frequently drunk, that he took part in activity that made him unsurprised by this claim, and that he found this woman credible. He's one of several people in this story who back Ms. Ramirez. And we wouldn't have run this if we didn't have a careful basis of people who had heard at the time and found her credible.
But by your own admission, no eyewitnesses to the incident?
Absolutely, and we disclosed that up front, and we also disclosed that she was inebriated at the time. And I think the fact that she took several days to consider and really carefully make sure that she had an evidentiary basis for this and other people were backing her account who had heard at the time and been told, speaks well of her level of caution.
Yeah, but
this is not the behavior of someone who is fabricating something.
Let me press you on that, though, because that sentence really did jump out at me when I read the article. She says that at first she wasn't sure this was Kavanaugh when you first came to her last week, and then you write, after 6 days of carefully assessing her memories and consulting with her attorney, she did become confident that it was him. You know, a lot of people...
And George, I would say that that's extremely typical of these stories. When you're dealing with trauma, alcohol, many years in between, I think that the more cautious witnesses that I've dealt with in cases like this very frequently say, I want to take time to decide, I want to talk to other people involved, I want to search myself and make sure that I can affirmatively stand by these claims in the face of what she knew would be a crucible of partisan pushback, which is what she's receiving now.
Why did she come forward?
She came forward because Senate Democrats began looking at this claim. She did not flag this for those Democrats. This came to the attention of people on the Hill independently, and it's really cornered her into an awkward position. That's why she took time to think about this carefully. You know, she said point blank, I don't want to ruin anyone's life, but she feels this is a serious claim. You know, she considers her own memories credible, and she felt it was important that she tell her story before others did without her consent, because so many people on the Hill were looking at this.
You pointed out the witnesses, the students at the time who back up her story, who back up their claims about Kavanaugh's behavior at the time. Several others in the article say that they never heard anything like this at all, even someone who professed to be her best friend at the time. At any moment as you were writing the story this close to the nomination, did you sort of want to push the pause button and say, are we sure this is the right thing to do?
George, I just want to stress very clearly, we take reporting of this type extremely seriously. The evidentiary basis for this, the number of witnesses who were told at the time, is strong. It's in excess of what we typically see in this kind of investigative reporting. The deal with sexual assault claims is very often that there aren't multiple people willing to say they witnessed it in the room. And the individuals who were most primary to this are people she alleged were egging Brett Kavanaugh on. And those are the ones who signed that statement that you talked about.
Yeah, as you know, Republicans are saying this is another Democratic hit job because it started out with Senate Democratic staffers. You write that the Republican staffers learned of this allegation last week. Last night, I spoke with a Senate GOP leadership aide quite late last night who said no one here or at the committee was told by the Senate Democrats about their ongoing efforts on this allegation. Are you confident the Republicans were told?
He may be accurate in that phrasing, that they weren't told about the ongoing activities as, you know, moment to moment were happening in the Democratic side. They were indeed aware of an allegation and were concerned about it and reached out to us about that.
And you also write that some senators, upon learning that, wanted to rush the hearing?
We don't draw a causal link. You know, we're not inside those conversations in the Republican senators' offices. All we say is that we heard that concern, and then shortly after there was an effort to accelerate this process.
What does Deborah Ramirez want to happen next?
Deborah Ramirez and her attorney, who's a former DA who says she is as credible as any witness he's dealt with in 26 years of legal practice, want an FBI investigation. You know, she wants this to proceed carefully. That's why she took a lot of time to come forward and do so carefully. She'd like that caution to continue. She wants to be fair to Brett Kavanaugh. In many statements, she said that to me.
Ronan Farrow, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cecilia?
Okay, George, let's turn to the White House now for the president's response to all of this. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, is there. And, John, a forceful reaction from the White House overnight.
All indications, Cecilia, are that the White House is standing by the president's nominee for the Supreme Court. Officials who I have spoken to since this story broke call the allegations specious and unfounded. And shortly after the story broke, they put out a very strong statement saying, quote, "It is a coordinated smear campaign by Democrats designed to tear down a good man. The White House stands firmly behind Judge Kavanaugh." So at this point, the indications are that the president himself is standing by his nominee, and the White House is preparing to fight to defend this nomination.
They certainly seem to be doing that. On those allegations by Blasey Ford, John, the president had been sticking to the script, showing some uncharacteristic restraint on that one, until, of course, that tweet on Friday that really set off a firestorm.
Absolutely. Except for one tweet on Friday, the president has been remarkably restrained on this. In fact, over the weekend, he gave an interview saying, quote, "Let her have her voice." Speaking of Dr. Blasey Ford, let him say whatever he wants to say, and in the end, the senators will make a choice. But as you point out, it has not been total restraint. That tweet on Friday, the president went directly after Christine Blasey Ford, saying that if something like this had happened, she clearly would have immediately filed a police report and demanded to see such a police report. That prompted a hashtag, "Why I Didn't Report," with many victims of sexual abuse coming out and sharing their stories and explaining why they were too frightened to come out publicly and say what happened.
It was the top trend on Twitter for a long time on Friday. Okay, John Karl at the White House. Thank you. George?
Thanks, Cecilia. Let's bring in our legal team, Dan Abrams and Sunny Hostin. A lot coming at us at the same time here.
Yes.
Right now, let me just ask you both to start out. Dan, you go first. We have these new allegations coming in. The hearing is set for Thursday. What should happen now?
Well, look, I don't think that this new allegation is going to make or break the nomination. The question's going to be, are there enough to either say we've got to pause this, we've got to withdraw this, or at the least we have to ask for an FBI investigation. That's why it becomes very important to know, what does Michael Avenatti have, right? Because he's an attorney. He's an attorney who says that he has another person, not Ramirez, not Dr. Ford, who's ready to come forward and make some sort of allegation. The problem in these cases for the person accused is that the minute there's an allegation made, a lot of the time other allegations come forward. And if this ends up being a situation where you have multiple allegations, that makes it harder and harder to defend.
Sonny, you've prosecuted sex crimes cases. Ronan was talking about how it's very often witnesses want to take their time before they come forward.
Sure, they want to take their time. That's why attempted rape, sexual assault crimes are the least reported in our country. They are underreported because women feel that they will not be believed, that they will be blamed. They're embarrassed. They feel that they are at fault, that they brought it onto themselves. Bottom line here, George, and I've been saying this for the past 2 to 3 weeks, this is a job for the Federal Bureau of Investigation because they are professional investigators. Isn't it remarkable that Ronan Farrow is doing the job of the FBI? Now you have another person coming forward saying, describing behavior, I think, that is pretty consistent with Dr. Ford's. Drunken behavior leading to errant sexual behavior. That is a pattern. Why wouldn't the Judiciary Committee want an investigation? They are not in the business of investigating. They are in the business of appointing, appointing and clearing,
the FBI to investigate.
Supreme Court nominees. This is a farce. Our country needs to feel comfortable with the character of Supreme Court justices. There is no confidence at this point.
But there does get to a question of why didn't they find this until now, right? Why does it have to be the Ronan Farrows?
He's had background investigations for every other federal job.
Right, and that's not
That's not unusual because women do not report. They do not come forward. Well, but now that you have these credible allegations, I believe they are credible with my experience, you've got to investigate.
And what should be the proper standard of proof here? It's not beyond A reasonable
Look,
doubt.
This isn't illegal. This is a political proceeding. This isn't a legal proceeding. And as a result, it's going to be the civil standard of more likely than not. But then you got to throw in a dose of politics into it. And, you know, the legal standard kind of goes out the window.
It's going to be quite a week. Thank you both very much, Amy.
Yeah.
All right, George, we're going to switch gears now and turn to Tiger Woods' big comeback, the greatest golfer of a generation, returning to the top, winning his first tournament in more than 5 years, overcoming serious injuries and personal setbacks to take home that huge win. ABC TJ Holmes is here with the story. Good morning, TJ.
Hey there, Arova. Look, he has won so much in his career, and then he took really a personal fall from grace and a professional fall from greatness, the likes of which we have never quite seen before. We didn't know if he'd ever win again. Well, yesterday was Throwback Sunday.
The tap in for Tiger. We thought we'd never see it.
Tiger Woods is back. An incredible scene Sunday as the golf phenom turned golf legend captured his first PGA win since 2013.
You could see the emotion pouring out of him. You know how big this was for him. It's been a long, long drought.
The victory is his 80th on the PGA Tour. And few looked and felt like this one. A rowdy crowd of spectators scrambled behind Tiger as he made his walk to the 18th hole for his final putt. His victory at that point already assured. After raising both arms in the air in celebration, he fell into the arms of his girlfriend, Erica Herman. Tiger took a fall from grace after that explosive sex scandal in 2009.
I had affairs. I cheated.
Then a fall from the top of the golf world after a series of back surgeries left him almost immobilized at times over the last 4 years.
I was beyond playing. I couldn't sit. I couldn't walk. I couldn't lay down without feeling the pain in my back and my leg. So, you know, that was a pretty low point and for a very long time.
There was also this DUI arrest last summer, which he blamed on the cocktail of medications he was prescribed. His rise and fall, now Sunday's victory, redemption, that many, including Tiger at times, didn't think was possible.
Just to be able to compete and play again this year, that's a hell of a comeback.
All right, and you were just saying, George, he's been built. He's had 7 top 10 finishes this year. He keeps getting closer and closer, and he finally got over the hump here. And he's talked about his kids who are 9 and 10 now. They've only known daddy in golf with pain.
Right.
Now this year is the first time they can actually see him be that champion.
And I love the rowdy golf crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You never see that.
Yeah, golf is a very calm sport, is it not?
Not yesterday. All right, let's go over to Ginger with the flooding and evacuations underway in South Carolina.
Oh, Cecilia, more than 8,000 homes evacuated just yesterday in Georgetown County, South Carolina. You can see the homes here in Horry County that have been surrounded by water. Guys, this is a week and a half after Florence, and still the effects being felt. The Waccamaw River expected to crest this Wednesday, stay in record stage through the end of the week. And we have a slow-moving system bringing flash flooding from Kentucky and Tennessee right through West Virginia. Wish we could take that water and push it to the west, because that Charlie fire, now burning more than 3,300 acres, is only 20% contained. Some of the areas seeing less than 2% humidity. The Select Cities Now, brought to you by Walgreens.
This flu season, protect yourself and your sister-in-laws, tennis partners, chatty co-workers, youngest daughters, entire judo class. One shot can make a world of difference. Walgreens has specially trained pharmacists that know which flu shot is right for you. Protecting the world. Over 60 million flu shots and counting. Starts with protecting yours. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901.
Well, keep that umbrella handy today because it is looking like another wet one. Probably our most rain coming through today, with the temperature just as low as it was yesterday, only in the mid to upper 60s. So a warm rain jacket. 85 on Wednesday. Temperatures will be rising to their highest levels midweek, but we'll start tracking some thunderstorms during the late afternoon and evening. The upcoming weekend, 79 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday with sunshine. Looking pretty nice. Hang on.
Coming up, the former child actor who accused actress and Me Too activist Asia Argento of sexual assault now telling his story on camera for the first time.
And caught on camera, the bus driver accused of letting kids as young as 11 years old. Right there, you can see it take the wheel. Other children on board that bus this morning. Understandably, the outrage from parents.